Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ango Show. Oh my God, it feels so weird saying that, but we are live. Let me turn off my phone volume because that is wild. But shout out to everybody who is joining us today. It's your boy Ango, joined by Billy TKO. We are back in the motherfucking building.
Ain't that the truth, baby? Ain't that the truth?
So we are finally back. Shout out to everybody joining us live on YouTube, X, TikTok. We are back on TikTok live. This is huge. We are across all platforms. So shout out to everybody. We are going to be engaging with everybody throughout the show. Of course, you guys know the drill. You guys chat. We chat with you. We're going to talk about a variety of things. You guys could probably see the title of the stream. I got to get some stuff off of my chest, and I can't wait to do so. But shout out to Billy for joining us back at it. Billy TKO also doing live watch alongs. It's been a very hectic month. I know it's been a chaotic month for you. And guys, we are back. We are back, and we are going to kill it because today we got a lot of stuff to discuss. People are saying my audio is low, but my audio is looking good on my end across all.
Yeah, you sound good on my end.
Yeah, I don't know what that may be, but it shows that I am hitting the right leverage. Okay. Got you. Thank you, Nats fan. I appreciate you. Shout out to Coke Boys. Shout out to Alberto, Nats fan, Michael Graham, Luke Newman, Alex A, Angel Delgado. So many of you guys are in the chat. Darth Bane, shout out to you as well. I appreciate you guys. For some reason, the one technical issue I am seeing at the moment is that I'm not able to pull up the chat. So I'm going to try to figure that out while Billy just goes ahead and introduces himself and talks to you guys and does all that good stuff. So go ahead and do that, Billy.
So it's been a little while. I hope everybody is doing well. If you guys don't know who I am, and maybe you guys are new to Ango's channel and maybe didn't know that we did these live watch alongs for quite some time, took about a month off. My name is Billy TKO. I also have my own wrestling YouTube channel, which you guys can find. It's just strictly Billy TKO. I do live watch alongs where we do Monday Night Raw, we do NXT, and we also do Friday Night SmackDown. And then we do all the PLEs and stuff. And obviously, we have a very big weekend ahead of us. So if you guys want, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button over on my channel. It is definitely recommended. On top of that, I want to say, man, it's just been so long since I've been here trying to get back into the groove of things. I'm kind of letting Ango do his thing for a second, but I hope everybody is doing well, and I hope you guys are excited to get into this live stream because I know I am. I have missed every single one of you so much. I've had so much personal stuff going on, which, again, if you guys are subscribed to me, then you kind of already know what I had going on. If not, uh, go subscribe, right? Um, but yeah, man, it's been hectic. Natspin said Billy is my dude. I appreciate you, brother. Um, yeah, just a big shout out to all of you guys, man, who have really stuck with us through all of this, and just so happy to be back, man. So happy. We're gonna be having a very fun live stream today. Again, as you guys see on the stream, we have some things that we need to get off our chest about WWE and maybe the structure of things recently. So that'll be a lot. And I mean a lot of fun to discuss. Mike says, "Welcome back, Billy." Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it, man. I'm super happy to be back, super happy to get back involved into the wrestling world. I understand that right now, especially like where we are, it's a very slow time for wrestling in general. But it feels good to just bring that energy back into it. And I think that's the one thing, like as wrestling fans, we need to like capture and really grab onto is like things may be slow, but I think our fan level should be the excitement. And I know it's WWE's job to keep us engaged and keep us excited. But I think if you're a real fan, at the end of the day, you're always going to find excitement out of something. So that's something I'm going to hold on to. Um, Calvin, what's going on? Let's go, Billy. Is awesome. Glad you're back, brother. Thank you, Luke. I appreciate it, man. I'm super happy to be back. I'm super happy to just get back involved with everything here. It's gonna be a lot of fun, man. It really is. It really is. Angel's over there doing his thing.
Yeah,
That
man,
man.
it's still not working. It's okay. I will figure it out for next time. Guys, what was really crazy, and I don't want to spend too much time about this because there's just a lot of stuff to talk about, but what was really crazy is that I feel as if I haven't been able to properly get everything working the way that I would hope. Um, because I was having some technical issues as well. So that was kind of like the big thing. But I am changing some stuff, fixing it right now as it stands, and hopefully it all works out. And then tomorrow we should be good. But this is what happens when Billy leaves you for a month, and then you kind of.
Oh Lord.
But I just increased the stream quality to 6,000 kilobytes per second or whatever the hell it is. So
Are we
hopefully,
bumping?
yeah, we should be 1080p HD now. 60 frames. I don't know, but hopefully this is working correctly. If not, I know for tomorrow it'll work. But either way, I'm just glad that we could be here. And yeah, man. Okay, listen. Thank you, Billy, for that introduction. Guys, if I can't pull the
Absolutely.
super chats up on the screen, I'll still be reading them. I'll put a super chat goal active while we are live. So let's do that. And of course, because we are multicasting across multiple platforms, YouTube and TikTok and Twitter and all this good stuff. We will I'll be shouting out everybody. I'm paying attention to all the chats. So that's another thing too, is I'm putting more work on us, but it's okay because I really just want to have an engaging show, and I appreciate everybody who's sticking with us and being with us and talking to us and enjoying their Tuesday afternoon. I want to say Monday, but ladies and gentlemen, we kind of just have to break it down because everybody's kind of been asking like, yo, where the hell have you been? What happened to the live show? Why aren't you guys live? Why aren't you guys doing this? Obviously, Billy had some stuff going on. And then for me personally, just not having a break really all year round, aside from when you get sick. It kind of sucks. So I went to obviously enjoy the beach and the good weather, as you guys could tell by my marvelous tan. But there is something that's on my mind. And before we talk about Raw and before we talk about all this other stuff that is happening, I just really want to preface what I'm about to say is probably going to be my biggest criticism of WWE today. And we just got to address it. So basically, WWE is doing too much. It's become overkill. As you guys know, WWE has Evolution, Great American Bash. We also have Saturday night's main event. In addition to that, WWE continues to, do Raw, SmackDown, NXT. This week is such a big week for professional wrestling, and WWE is not doing it because they want to celebrate WWE. They are doing this to essentially hurt AEW. And I think it's gotten to the point where I am feeling that wrestling burnout, that wrestling fatigue that comes with WWE trying to do this. And truth be told, I am not enjoying it. And it's actually really crazy because I was watching Raw yesterday and I thought Raw was an excellent episode. And I don't think I think Triple H is still in his bag when it comes to, essentially when it comes to their creative. We're seeing a lot of cool stuff with Karrion Kross and Sammy and Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker and all these things. But I have gotten to a point where honestly, I can genuinely just say this truthfully. I am burnt out from the WWE program, and I'm burnt out from AEW, and I'm a little burnt out also as well with TNA and MLW and all these other companies. Right now, this happens every summer where I start to go outside a little bit, and I go outside for a little bit. And the more that I go outside, because obviously in Michigan, Billy, you can attest to this too. In Michigan, there's a lot of time that you spend indoors, not a lot of sunlight. It gets cold. Yeah, you might leave the house a little bit, but it's just it damages you a little bit when you're not used to the sun. And so for me personally, just being able to go out here and enjoy the beach a little bit and enjoy time and make memories, because the one currency that I believe everybody should value more than money is time. And when WWE when WWE is asking you to watch a million freaking hours of wrestling a week, it's a little too much.
This is true.
It's a little too much. And so, despite the fact that I think creatively WWE is doing great, like this is becoming overkill. Like WWE is genuinely doing a good job this year creatively, but it's too much wrestling. And like I said, time is the greatest currency. And so for me, I want to live my life, make memories, enjoy the good times. And WWE is asking me to dedicate millions of hours just so they can compete with AEW. To be honest with you, I find that as an actual big turnoff. Like, I feel like that's one of the things that's going to eventually just push me away, where it's like, dude, Focus on your own TV show. You don't got to worry about AEW. AEW hurts itself more than WWE can ever hurt them. Like, I'm just being honest with you. AEW, it took them a long time to start getting back into the groove of things because of the CM Punk footage. And now they're going to do All In, and it's not at Wembley Stadium, and it's not 80,000 seats. Good on them for doing 20,000 plus tickets, you know? But WWE just needs to focus on WWE. Saturday night's main event, Evolution, WWE Raw, SmackDown, this and that. It's just so much wrestling at that point. When is enough truly enough, you know?
I said it yesterday a little bit on my live stream. I talked about like the annoyance that WWE is trying to cause AEW, and I think that we're giving them the reaction that they wanted. Uh, the the thing about it is the people that are going to tune into WWE this week, maybe let's say over AEW, they were always going to tune into WWE over AEW regardless. Now the kicker here is that AEW, they're putting on the show. It's technically in so some would say that this is their version of WrestleMania. Of course, WWE is going to want to hinder that because at the end of the day, whether they say it or not, WWE does view AEW as some type of competition in some regard, right? This is proof of that. And I think we just need to accept that. It is what it is. The thing about it is WWE doing it in July in a time where we as wrestling fans all know that things start to simmer down around this time because okay, yeah, we have SummerSlam coming up, but SummerSlam is around the time where I start to get back reinvested, back excited, ready to roll. You know what I mean? It's after that. And that show is the starter point of that. So, you know, the months from after WrestleMania, so we'll say uh early May, late April onwards to, you know, early August. You know, those are just dwindled down times that are time that, like you said, you want to go outside, you want to go spend time with your family, you want to go spend time with friends, et cetera, et cetera. You want to go to the beach, just go out and touch grass, essentially, is what it is. And WWE asking you, it's true, it's true. Want me to go touch some grass? All right.
Yeah.
So WWE, dude, like what they're trying to do is just they're asking you to devote so much time and with so much wrestling on, it's like, dude, like the exhaustion starts to kick in. You know, you kind of said it best there a minute ago. You got MLW, you got TNA, you got all the indie promotions, you got Raw, SmackDown, NXT, you got LFG, you have AEW, you have Evolve. It's like, man, when can we and you know, years ago we would have looked at this and been like, no way. Like they're gonna do all of that wrestling,
Yeah.
right? Because there was a time where it was, oh, there's not enough wrestling.
Yeah.
Now there's more than enough, and you have to pick and choose. And as great as that sounds on the surface, it may not always be for the best. You know what I mean? Because people get tired, they get exhausted, and you feel that fatigue. So I don't know, man. It's going to be a very interesting weekend to say the least. I know myself, I am going to be watching All In and Saturday night's main event. I'm gonna skip out on the Great American Bash this time around. Um, but even that fact, like it should have just been All In. That should have been the show. That should have been it. You know what I mean?
I don't know if that's the case, but you know, if you did Saturday night's main event and All In, okay, that's different. Because All In also starts at what, 2 or 3 p.m. Eastern. So
Yeah.
yeah, so like the thing is, you could have done that, you know, but for some reason, WWE just really loves this idea of they really just love this freaking idea of stacking the deck. And to be honest with you, man, it's like it's tough. It is so tough. And I'm going to tell you guys something that I think really needs to be said here. Like AEW All in my opinion, I really don't care about aside from a few matches. I'm just
For
being
sure.
honest. This is not some anti AEW thing that people always want to walk and talk about with Ango, you know. I don't really care about AEW All In, but I'm telling you guys that it's not because of AEW. It's I also don't care about Saturday night's main event, and I don't care about Evolution, and I don't care about Great American Bash, and none of this has to do with creative. None of this. It
It
is
has to do with fatigue.
it's so much wrestling to the point where I genuinely think it is pushing me away. And I genuinely believe that with like AEW and WWE, it is very, very, very important that they understand I am not the only person that thinks this way. I am not. Because you know what else we haven't talked about? We got Ring of
What's that?
Honor Friday night.
Yeah.
So you have somebody who covers wrestling for a living, and
Hmm.
I do this as a job, and I get excited to cover wrestling, and here I am
Correct.
being like, damn, you guys are doing way too much. I don't know where to put my focus.
Boom. That is the perfect way to put it. It's not knowing where to put your focus at. In a time where you're asking me to devote a lot of my time, I don't even know where my time should be going to.
And
That's the kicker.
people will say, "Oh, well, since you run it as a business, then do the one that makes the most sense for the business." But the thing that people don't actually understand is that, like, for me, what's best for business is literally just talking about wrestling. And so
Covering wrestling. It
I
doesn't
want to,
matter what wrestling.
yeah, like I just enjoy talking about wrestling in general. So now it's like I gotta kind of like I gotta kind of like pick and choose, you know. And the thing is, nobody in their right mind wants to spend their entire day or their entire weekend watching wrestling. That's just the truth.
No, man. No, they don't. You know, we have lives. You know what I mean? We do. And we want to live them. You know, I just at first, when you kind of looked at things on the surface, like, oh, every 2 weeks we get like a PLE, like, oh, that's really cool. And you break it down, you're like, oh, every 2 weeks, the quote unquote something important is gonna happen. And I don't know. I kind of miss that 12 pay-per-view, PLE, whatever you want to call it, that 12-month schedule. You know what I mean? Do it once a month if you got to. Maybe miss out on one, so maybe you do 11 out of 12 months of the year. Like it's just missing that schedule because that to me was so much easier and so much easier to digest
Well,
rather than every 2 weeks.
yeah, and I think digest is the perfect word because I feel like when you do too much, it is harder to digest it all. And so that's why I
Hmm.
think I'm a little bit more concerned. Because again, like I saw, I think it was Zach Pack. He wrote it. He said maybe the solution is to stop watching for a little bit to recharge.
Yep.
But the thing is, that's not the actual issue here. Is like I'm
Mm-mm.
watching it every week and I'm enjoying the product, which is why
Yeah.
this is such a weird feeling. Because it would like I remember when I would get wrestling burnout during the Vince McMahon era during the summer, and I used to literally say this live on streams. Like I would tell people, I'd be like, guys, I'm not reviewing the show because I didn't watch the show. We could talk about things that may have happened on the show, but I am not going to sit there and review it because of the fact that I'm not watching it because it was fucking garbage. And so I would literally say that. I'd be like, guys, like Vince McMahon is kind of garbage. I want to go enjoy my summer. The funny thing is, I'm at a stage where I'm like, damn, WWE and AEW have some really good stuff happening right now, and I'm enjoying it. But then you're
But
asking
I
me,
need to stop.
I, I just, it's just too much, bro. It's too much. It's becoming overkill. And my biggest fear about this, by the way, and we'll get to some shout outs, but my biggest fear with all this wrestling that's going on is that WWE and AEW, yes, they're competitors. I don't care what anybody says. Pepsi versus
Hmm.
Coke,
Yep.
it is what it is. But to me, I think it's just such a large ask. And this is the thing that's not getting talked about. And this doesn't directly impact me because obviously I am not going in attendance. But when you have WWE trying to sell out center stage and then you got to do another venue for Evolution and this and that, you're asking for people to spend a lot of money on a weekend that is not SummerSlam weekend or WrestleMania weekend.
Yes.
This is actually all in weekend and you're just trying to compete with them. So I feel like it's kind of grimy too that like with their ticket prices, you're kind of charging people a lot of money to go to these events and then you kind of wonder why you're not 100% selling out. Well, the
Can I,
reason for
can
that
I
is
be
because you're doing a lot.
can I be honest with you? One of my biggest questions is AEW going to be petty? Because a lot of people are going to tune into AEW over the Great American Bash. I think we can all say that, right? Um, the, the thing that I'm wondering is AEW going to go overtime into Saturday night's main event?
I think that would be kind of dumb.
I think so too, but I wonder. considering how petty WWE has been towards them, are they going to be petty back?
So my advice for Tony Khan in that situation would be to not be petty, and the reason why is because the reason why I think AEW is even starting to rebound currently is for
Is
the
because
fact
WWE is being petty.
it's for the first time in several years I feel like AEW is actually focused on AEW.
Yes. Yes. So it's just sticking to that focus structure
Yes.
of, hey, we're us. We don't care what they do.
Yeah.
We're going to continue to do us.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I think it's got to be said. Like I think I used to say this years ago. It's like, man, AEW is at its best when it's not worried about WWE. And
Yep.
so the problem is when you're constantly focused on WWE and you're being reactionary, you're shooting yourself in the foot because you cannot beat WWE.
No.
I don't care what people on the internet say. You cannot beat WWE. You are not going to beat WWE. You know what's going to kill WWE? WWE will kill themselves. Like they're going to shoot
Yeah.
themselves in the foot. It's not going to be AEW doing damage to WWE. They're too big of a
Correct.
conglomerate giant that's like massive and just it's not going to be possible. So if you're AEW, stick to what you know, stick to what you do and be good with how you do things, you know? And you're stepping up. You're not perfect, but you've stepped up your product. You have a lot of people right now who really, really want to see Hangman Page win. Have Hangman Page win, and then you're gonna see the world will completely change with AEW. Like I'm telling you, this is
Absolutely.
starting. This is starting to feel like the old days of AEW. I'm starting to get that vibe again, and I
Yeah,
love it. I
they're,
love it.
they're getting the feeling back. We've talked about the feeling before, and I know it's such like a cliche word,
Yeah.
but if you do look at the structure of AEW and how things are happening, you can start to see that they're rejuvenating life back into themselves, which is
Yes.
so good because that's the one thing that I think we've always said is like we don't want anything to happen to AEW. We just want to see them get back on track. And like you said a moment ago, the best time that they have ever been has always been when they focus solely on themselves, taking themselves out of everything that the other wrestling world has and just strictly focusing on them,
Yeah.
putting themselves first.
When you watch WWE or AEW, I feel like I like them for different reasons, right? And so the thing is, when AEW goes away from the reasons why I like them to begin with, then it makes it very difficult for me to enjoy them. And I feel like in the last 2 months, they've really stepped it up. Do I think they're making mistakes? Yes. Do I think WWE's making mistakes? Yes. But overall, I think wrestling is very fun to watch. So in general, it's like, damn, I hate that I have to pick between stuff, you know, and that's why people got to pay attention to my actual words. I'm not watching All In this weekend like 100% of the show. Like I'm buying the pay-per-view and I'm going to watch
But
it.
you're gonna focus on the matches that you want to watch.
Exactly. That's how it's going to be. Now, again though, I'm not it's not because of creative. It's because there's just too much going on. And so the thing
Correct.
for me is like if AEW goes over time and tries to mess with WWE here, I think you are what's the word that I'm looking for? You are stooping down to WWE's level.
Yes.
WWE
Yeah.
is going to do this because this is how WWE is. This is what giant companies will do. This is what the number one company will always do. They are going to try to diminish their competition, and everybody who's offended by it are honestly soft. You're soft because guess what? It's going to happen in every industry and every other company. The top company is always going to do that. Now, it's important that if WWE does that kind of behavior, they are providing product to you that you enjoy. Because I'm telling you right now, if I saw WWE was being incredibly petty with AEW by doing all this and then they're giving me shit, like a shit product, I'm going to be very critical of it. That's not how I feel though. I feel as if WWE currently is providing a good product, and I currently believe that AEW is providing a good product. WWE wants to be petty, let them. That has no impact on us as a society. It has no impact on us as viewers. But what I will say is if AEW tries to go and be competitive to them in that kind of regard, they are shooting themselves in the foot. Why? Because ever since day one of this company, anytime they try to steer away from their focus, they fall. And now is not the time to do it because it was very, very, very hard to get over the CM Punk drama. And now we are at
Yeah.
a stage where they have recovered. And thankfully, they've recovered. And Tony Khan, I know he's a very big internet wrestling community guy, and that's who he wants to appease. Well, don't appease them by going after WWE. Appease them by bringing them the product that they enjoy. Because I promise you, if you cater to your audience the way they want to be catered to, fuck all the ratings talk, fuck all the attendance talk. I don't care about that for a second. you will just start making people genuinely happy. And by the way, I say this as somebody who has correctly predicted every single time when AEW starts to lose momentum. I always do this since day one of the company. You can go back and watch the content, and I would say, this is going to fucking hurt them. And every single time I am right. So to answer you, Billy, no. Do not go overtime. Do not try to mess with WWE. You don't need to do that. It's not a big deal. Go out there, put all in, and make it a wonderful show and send the crowd happy. You send the crowd home happy, and I promise you will see amazing things and you will see amazing response. And for
Yep.
WWE, the best thing to do is send the crowd home happy. Great results,
Mhm.
great matches. This is not a weekend of, and I want to be very clear about this. This is not a weekend of, oh my God, all in fucking shit on Evolution. Oh my God, Evolution. Oh my God, AEW shit on Great American Bash. That's not what it's about. Watch what you want to watch. Enjoy what you want to watch. There is a lot of fucking wrestling happening all at once. You don't need to be sitting here going crazy about which one's better and not better, because at the end of the day, you're not the fucking one buying the tickets or buying the merch or anything. So buy the pay-per-views and don't be one of those fucking people on the internet that sits there and goes on those streaming sites to watch it for free and then sits there and then starts joining in dialogue where it's like, oh well, fucking this show is ass and blah 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 blah. No, you spend your money on the product and you spend your money on the merchandise and you spend your money on going to shows. Be critical. But I also
Yes.
see a lot of people sitting there and they're like, fucking little dweebs on the keyboards. Man, how blessed are we we're at a time in the summer where we're literally complaining about too much good wrestling. That's the fucking complaint. There's too much good wrestling. It's leading to fatigue. It's leading to the point where it's become very difficult to actually keep up with it all. Which one do I cover? Which one do I not cover? But for me personally, as a content creator, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm not enjoying the fact that AEW and WWE are good. Like they are. And shout out to all the fucking dweebs out there who sit there and still think that Ango doesn't like these companies. Ango hates WWE, he loves WWE. And Ango hates AEW and he loves AEW. Make up your fucking minds.
The good old dweebs, man. The good old dweebs.
You know who's not a dweeb? Shout out to every single individual watching us live on Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and all that good stuff. We have some shout outs. We're going to talk about Raw in just a second. First things first, I need to give a major shout out to Miles Jubert Roberson. He gifted one membership to the YouTube channel, and that was gifted to Jake Miller. So shout out to Miles. Thank you so much. I appreciate that greatly. Tolino Channel kicking things off today with a 100 rupee donation, and he says, give Carrion the push button. His character is fresh, hasn't scratched the surface yet. Also, only day I feel fresh is Tuesday night NXT. All right, so let's talk about Karrion Kross, because I love Karrion Kross. Billy, do you love
Me too.
Karrion Kross?
I am a big Karrion Kross fan. That
Car-
guy's sick.
Karrion Kross is legitimately going to be a big deal in WWE. This is going to be bigger than the Daniel Bryan movement. This is going to be bigger than pretty much every movement. Karrion Kross is getting the type of reactions from fans because people see that he is such a great component to the WWE program. This guy will have a little talking segment during commercial break and the crowd erupts and cheers. This guy comes out and attacks Sami Zayn and the crowd erupts and cheers. This is the perfect time for WWE to really accelerate the Karrion Kross push. He needs to be pushed because people need to see that WWE also values him the same way we value him. But Karrion Kross is legitimately a future world champion. I am not going to debate this. I think Karrion Kross is so legit. The fact that this guy can have different emotions and reactions and all of these different mannerisms with a split second just goes to show you what WWE has. And it goes to show you that sometimes it's about being character driven. That's the most important aspect. People have really clinged on to Karrion Kross, not because he does Spanish flies off the top of the cell or top of a ladder or this or that, right? They love Karrion Kross because this guy goes out there, absolutely kills it with his character work, and on top of that, he does really good stuff in the ring. So legitimately, how can you hate on Karrion Kross?
Well, I'll tell you this. If you've watched our live streams, I know it's been a while, But if you've watched them, this is something that we've been talking about for a long time and something that we've been saying. That guy, Karrion Kross, hands down a future world champion. He goes on Raw, like you said, gets a massive pop. What we've said from the start, WWE is going to make you like this guy. They are going to force you to like this guy. And they're not going to force you by shoving him down your throat. No, they're going to force you by not giving you everything that you want all at once. Look at how long it took for Karrion Kross to get inside of the ring with Sami Zayn. Think about it. They had built that for so long, and he had just done so many backstage segments, and you always thought that nothing was going to come of it. And they structured that, they planned that, they executed it so well. And now you have him coming out to the ring a little more. You kind of have him running out there and attacking Sami Zayn, and you understand that that's still not everything that you want. You're not getting everything all at once from Karrion Kross that you want. And then yesterday, he has that segment during the commercial break, and he goes out there and just the way he reacted, because the crowd was chanting "We want Cross" for anybody who was wondering. Um, and just like his face and his mannerisms, he like jumped up, maybe like it the clown, right? Like, well, now you got me, right? I thought that was such a perfect way to describe who Karrion Kross is. The mannerisms within themselves. And I think now we're going to see that future world champion that we all knew was going to happen eventually. I think we're going to start to see signs of that. Sami Zayn is just the starting point. We've said it here, 2026. I think you're going to
Yes.
see Karrion Kross as the world champion.
But how do we get there, Billy? How do we get to Karrion Kross as world champion? Well, it starts with very, 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 very good long-term storytelling, and I think
And it
WWE
starts with
knows.
Sami Zayn.
It starts with Sami Zayn, bro, and you know that 2026 Royal Rumble, Saudi Arabia.
Arabia.
We had
Yep.
this conversation with Phil. I don't know where the hell Phil is. I gotta send him a text message because I just texted him the other day, and we were talking about how like I just haven't been live and stuff. But I want to
Yeah.
give credit to Phil because Phil was saying, like, hey, like he should win the Royal Rumble instead of King of the Ring. And so if he wins the Royal Rumble and wins the championship at WrestleMania, now you have all of this beautiful stuff with Karrion Kross, that history that they've composed over the last few months. It could lead to Karrion Kross becoming world champion.
And it culminates at WrestleMania.
So here's the thing. Sami Zayn wins the Royal Rumble, goes to WrestleMania, and wins the World Heavyweight Championship from Seth Rollins. That's my prediction, right?
Yep.
So
Okay.
if
Okay.
that happens, it's a huge moment, babyface moment. Sami Zayn's world champion. Karrion Kross goes on Raw and looks at him and he's like, "You finally did it, pal. You finally did it, you know?" And then Karrion Kross snaps into a freaking different facial expression and boom! Goes even off more. It's hard. Karrion Kross is a freaking heel, but the guy gets cheered like the saving grace of WWE. It's amazing.
This is so true. This is so true.
It's
Obviously, the guy is like the worst guy on the TV show as is right now, and then the people love him.
I love
It's
it
so
though.
backwards. So do I. That's what makes wrestling fun, right?
Oh, 100%.
It is.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm excited about that though. To me, that's exciting. I swear, like I genuinely, like I can't wait to see that happen. Shout out to Tolino Channel for the super chat. I appreciate you, my boy. Adam Myron dropping a $5 super chat. He says, "Hey Ango, I talked to Billy last night about it. If WWE wants to be desperate, why not book at Evolution Charlotte Flair versus Brooke Hogan? That will sell out." Brooke Hogan,
Yeah.
brother, what?
He dropped that same super chat on my channel.
You want to elaborate a little bit? Because where the hell Brooke Hogan in a WWE ring is not for me, brother.
No, it's not for me either. That's all I said. That I. Oh no. No. Just no. That's it.
Adam,
I'll be
I
okay.
love you. Respect to you for showing love
So
and
much.
dropping the super chat, and you're loyal to the channel, and I appreciate it. In a world where we have the Charlotte Flairs, the Mercedes Monets, the world where we have Asuka and Io, and we got Bianca Belair, and we got all of these great talents.
So many people.
And Jade Cargill and Bailey and Roxanne and Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley and I mean, guys, the list goes on. We don't need no Brooke Hogan in WWE. It's just not happening.
No, I'll be okay. I'll be okay. I'll be fine.
I'm good without it, brother. But if you want to sell out Evolution, what you do is you don't. I'm just gonna flat out say, if you're doing Evolution, the fact that they don't have Mercedes Moné is crazy. And WWE should have
Yeah,
probably tried to bring her back and let her do her thing, but
and they didn't.
yeah, they did it.
I'll tell you what, man. Adam has some interesting questions quite often.
Yeah, that one was interesting. Brooke Hogan on WWE television. No.
He- Shout out Adam, though. Good guy. Good guy.
Shout out to Adam. Thank you for the super chat, brother. Jared Clark dropping a $2 super chat. He says, I said that WWE counter programming AEW is a bad idea. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's a bad idea, not because of anything other than the fact that they're just doing too much. You know,
That's it.
if you want to just do Saturday night's main event, because here's the thing: Saturday night's main event happens at night. All in happens during the day. During the nighttime period, like the good thing is with that, right? When you do it at night, people will talk about more of your show than All In because All In already happened. Like that's just naturally how it's going to be. They're just doing a little too much. That's the problem that I have. I think they're doing a little too much, and they shouldn't be doing that much. Um, you know, NXT. I love NXT pay-per-views. I've been very, very happy with NXT pay-per-views throughout the last 2 years under Shawn Michaels. I can't complain. So I'm excited about Great American Bash. But there's just too much stuff happening to the point where it's like, damn, you're really not letting me.
And you want to know how I know that they're being a little extra petty with NXT? It's because last year the Great American Bash was a TV program. It wasn't even a PLE.
They do that though sometimes with some of their stuff.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, they've done that. Yeah, they've definitely done that. Shout out to Jared Clark. Appreciate you, brother. I apologize too because I feel like you told me before it was Jared, but maybe it's Gerard. So
It's Gerard.
is it Gerard? I apologize
Yeah.
either or. I do apologize. I try. I am a little dyslexic, but
We're not perfect humans.
Yeah. Miles dropping a $5 super chat. Part of me feels WWE is spitting false info on Karrion Scarlett with not renewing contract. Personally, feel the secretly re-signed. Dude, I feel the same way.
Yeah, I've been saying that one. That one feels like, yeah. I mean, they wouldn't be doing everything that they're doing with him if he didn't.
Look at that promo that he did, with like the Raw podcasting that they did, where he went off the books and stuff. I feel like all of that was like I feel
it's all
like,
structured.
Yeah, I feel like WWE. I'll be shocked if he's gone. But I do think to a certain extent WWE just has something with Karrion Kross that's been brewing. I think they've calculated it. WWE knows how to do this. TKO is really good at this whole thing of like, hey, we know how to throw people off their game and make them think one way versus another. And for Karrion Kross, it's been very beneficial. I hope he resigns. I've been a massive Karrion Kross fan. When he came back, I was very excited. I feel like the only thing he doesn't do is wrestle a lot, but he's constantly on programming and constantly influencing other sides of programming. So I want more of Karrion Kross and Scarlett. I feel like the whole group that he did the Final Testament was kind of cool, but it was never going to get over because AOP would like they kind of they're the whole thing was just a little too much. You don't have to over articulate a character with that. So they did a really good job with Karrion breaking away from them and doing his thing. So I'm excited about Karrion Kross. I don't know. Do you I didn't hear you. Did you say you agree with the fact that he probably is
Resigned, yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yep.
Shout out to Miles. Luke Newman dropping $1.99. The Righteous debuting alongside Cross will be big. Dude, I think that has to happen.
I mean, that'll be the, oh yeah, we resigned without telling you that he resigned, as if that happens. Because I think it would be great. Now, how do you get there? That's a whole other question. Maybe you have them in a match and then you just kind of bring them out, no different than WWE normally does as a surprise.
Well, when you look at what happened with Night of Champions with Karrion Kross, this would be like the perfect way to debut them.
Correct.
Get your lick back, and then
Yep. Get your win back, essentially.
Yeah. The Righteous, dude, is like, they're awesome, bro.
They are. They are. And I think they'd fit really well with Karrion Kross, obviously. I mean, that's something that we all know. Um, Again, something I wanna see. I just wanna see Kross get that big push, man. I really do. I'm a big Karrion Kross guy. Especially as time's going on, you just learn to enjoy him that much more.
Yeah,
I think, even looking, at Scarlett,
yeah,
seeing her last night have that moment on the microphone by herself, I thought that was great. You know what
yeah,
I mean? And I think that's another story that they kinda gotta get into, because the main roster, if you're just a casual fan, maybe you don't fully know the history and the story of Scarlett. She's not really a wrestler. She's always worked more as like a manager type role to
yeah.
Karrion Kross, and obviously you understand the relationship that they have, again, if you're one of those fans that does all that kinda research and stuff. Um, so I think telling that story would be important too, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think, man, this makes me miss Bray Wyatt because
Yeah.
it did get confirmed that the Righteous were going to work with Bray Wyatt, and that was 100% confirmed, and that didn't work out. And so the thing is, when you see kind of what happened with Karrion Kross and the Y6 versus the Final Testament and everything that they did
Yeah.
with the Miz right there, like, obviously things had to kind of shift a little bit, but it was so interesting to see that because imagine if Karrion Kross had the Final Testament, but then also had the Righteous come in. And the Righteous, they could have done some storytelling where the Righteous, like, you didn't know if they were part of the YS6 or if they were part of the Final Testament. And then it actually turns out that Karrion Kross and the Righteous took out absolutely everybody with the
Yeah.
Righteous. Like, I always think that would have been a really cool way to introduce talent because of the fact that these guys may not be well known to the WWE audience, but they're so good that they're going to come in and immediately be complimentary to Karrion Kross. Like, Scarlett
Yeah.
Bordeaux can wrestle. We know that. But
Mhm.
where she is best is a complementary piece to Karrion Kross. So,
Absolutely.
like, there is that benefit of sometimes you don't need to be doing too much, but what you're doing could be enough if you're complimentary to the piece that you're doing. So that
Absolutely.
that was definitely a big thing. Shout out to Luke Newman for the super chats. I am absolutely waiting for the Righteous to debut in WWE as well. So I look forward to it when it does happen. I think it's inevitable. Um, Speaking of debuts, things, contracts, this and that, there's just a lot of stuff that happened on Raw last night. And there was really two takeaways that I had that I really want to talk about.
Okay.
I feel like the matches were fine. I felt like the crowd was great. Rhode Island was a great crowd. I absolutely loved Penta versus Seth Rollins.
Yes, sir.
I absolutely love what they're doing with LA Knight. I cannot believe, Billy, that I'm going to tell you this. Yeah, you're looking. I see you looking like that. I'm sold, brother.
You sold on Mr. LA Knight?
They got to keep him permanently on Raw because it completely changed my
Yes.
outlook on him.
Yes. I agree 100%. I think the change that needed to come was Monday Night Raw. Uh, this is, again, going back to the show and the feeling of the shows, like each one has a different feel to it.
Yeah,
LA Knight makes sense on Raw. There was more for him to do over on Raw than there was SmackDown. If you were gonna keep him in what many would call, quote unquote, you know, uh, uh, the purgatory
yeah,
or whatever, um, then it was always best for him to go to Raw and immediately getting that spot with Seth Rollins. Even if Seth Rollins isn't the champion, whatever, like you understand that Seth Rollins is a big deal, and I think WWE has a roadmap for the WWE Championship. I
yeah,
think they have an outlook on where it's going to go maybe the next year and a half, 2 years,
yeah,
right? They have that roadmap on how they're going to get there. It's always been one of the most coveted prizes, right?
yeah.
The thing that they don't have a roadmap on and that I think can change is that World Heavyweight Championship.
I don't agree. I think we just laid it out with Sami Zayn and Karrion
So
Kross,
so
Seth
as I
Rollins.
say as I say that, I think the roadmap to where it's gonna go within like the next year, yeah, we got that. But again, somebody can hold the title for, say Sami Zayn won it. I mean, obviously nobody wants to see him hold it for a month, but you have him hold it for 3 months. He could drop the title to somebody. And the ball is a little bit easier to roll with with the World Heavyweight Championship, and
Yeah.
it still holds a lot of prestige.
So let me ask you a question because this is something that
Yeah.
I have thought about. I genuinely believe Seth Rollins needs to be World Heavyweight Champion going into WrestleMania next year.
See, I
So
would disagree with you.
okay, so hold on though. Hold on. I will
Mhm.
let you get your point, but let me just ask you:
Yeah.
would you rather have Seth Rollins? Because you disagree. So would you rather see LA Knight and Seth Rollins maybe play hot potato with the belt?
I Truth be told, I don't know if Seth is going to cash in for the World Heavyweight Championship, if you want me to be quite honest with you.
I also agree. I could see Seth going for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam.
Can I be honest with you? I don't even think it happens there.
You think it's gonna happen Saturday night's main event?
No, 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 no. I think this is more long term.
No, I don't think so.
I genuinely I believe that he cashes in at SummerSlam. I want to put that out there. I do believe that. I don't know why I said no to that. I do believe that he cashes in at SummerSlam on Cody Rhodes after Cody Rhodes beats John Cena.
Yeah.
And then I think the story that they're going to tell following that, I know some people were so outspoken towards the triple threat match.
Yeah.
And people aren't fans of triple threat matches being like the marquee matches on WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think the aftermath of that was that it was such a welcome, like that was the best received match of WrestleMania was Seth, Punk, and Roman,
Yeah.
right? I think they're gonna run that back in some way, but not with Roman. I think they run it back with Cody. I think it's gonna be Cody, Punk, and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship.
Interesting.
Yeah,
That's
very deep,
interesting.
very deep, very deep.
Yeah. I
But
like.
yes, I do believe that LA Knight wins that World Heavyweight Championship. I know I kind of got off track there for a second.
I wouldn't mind him going after. I kind of want to see him be a heel, to be honest.
LA Knight,
Yeah.
me too. I think that's how he wins the belt.
Just replicate the Stone Cold thing, bro. Heel,
That's it.
cool. Like,
Just make it cool. That's what it is. He doesn't have to go out there and just bash everybody. Just stop engaging every bit of your character with the fans, if that makes sense.
yeah,
I would like to see that.
I agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
huge, huge. Miles dropped a $2 super chat. He says, "Hope we get Scarlett in the Battle Royal at Evolution." Probably. I think they're just gonna put a whole bunch of people in there. I don't know why they're doing a Battle Royal. I wish they just kind of did like a Royal Rumble.
Yeah, me too. I don't understand. I don't understand the whole idea, but I guess to get the Clash in Paris, it makes sense. But even part of me, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I don't know how they're gonna do it or what they're gonna do, but I can imagine like it'll be somebody like Nikki Bella who wins. Am I crazy for saying that?
No, I don't think it's gonna be her.
I hope it's not her. I'll be honest, but the only reason why is because obviously, or no, Clash in Paris happens after SummerSlam, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, never mind, never mind. I take back what I said. I take it back.
yeah. I'm gonna be
Oh,
real. I'm gonna be real honest with you. I'm not doing any predictions, just yet, because obviously we're gonna do a prediction show, but
yeah,
I don't think Nikki Bella wins, but I do think there's something massive gonna happen that's gonna change the course of that. So
for sure, for sure. I did get a super chat on my channel, and I just want to shout out Sharon Dies. She didn't write anything, so Sharon, if you have anything you have to say, it was a $1.99 super chat. I appreciate you.
shout out to
My bad.
Sharon.
Yeah,
Shout out to Sharon.
good people,
Love,
man.
love, 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 love. Luke Newman dropped another super chat, by the way. He dropped $1.99. He says, "I think Private Party will sign with WWE. I think we're gonna see them at Great American Bash."
Really?
Yeah,
You think so?
yeah, I do.
Hmm.
I don't have like some like source on that or something. Like it's not like
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
it's just like a weird little hunch, like a little weird feeling.
It could be that.
WWE wants to counter program all in on this weekend. Great American
Bring in
Bash.
Private Party.
Blake Monroe, like Danhausen. Phil's in the chat.
There's our boy.
Phil's in the chat. Shout out to Phil. We were talking about you earlier, bro. We're back. We're back. We got to get Phil in here one of these days too.
We do, man.
We
We
were
have to bring Phil in, bro.
we're still having a little bit of technical issues, but that's because I haven't really streamed in a month. So, but we are
And
live
neither
on.
have I.
Yeah, we're still live everywhere. Shout out to Luke Newman for the super chat. Tolino channel coming through with 100 rupees. He says, "Who will defeat Gunther to become world heavyweight champion? Maybe a 5-minute glory before Seth spoils it. Maybe Knight." I actually think Gunther loses the belt because of cash in, because they want to protect Gunther at all costs. So I don't think they're gonna have somebody beat him clean. I think
It's I guess now it would make sense if they did do the World Heavyweight Championship match with CM Punk and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Um, and then, you have that match between Gunther and Punk, and then Gunther gets cashed in on and, just kind of interrupts CM Punk, and it just continues that feud more and more.
everything is long term, brother.
It is. It is. They wanted to do that match at WrestleMania 40, so they just ultimately be doing themselves a favor if they do it next year.
Exactly. I agree. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Um, am I tripping? Punk wasn't on Raw last night, was he? I don't
No,
remember
sir,
him.
he was not.
Yeah.
Nope, he was
Uh,
not. He don't show up to the small.
Goldberg.
I'm kidding.
Goldberg. What'd you say? He doesn't show up?
I said he doesn't show up to the small towns.
Oh shit. That's
No, man. Shout out Rhode Island.
hey, they were a good crowd.
They were. They were a great crowd.
Yeah. Luke Newman coming through with another super chat for $1.99. He says, "Will Rollins cash in on Cena or Gunther?" I mean, I think there's a case for both. I think
There is.
Billy made a good point earlier about it. I think also it makes more sense for Rollins to cash in on Gunther, so Gunther could like drop the belt without dropping it clean. But I do like the idea of him going after Cody because there's a lot of cool stories there. But I think Cody needs to just beat John Cena, and John Cena becomes babyface, and who
Yeah.
knows, man? Who fucking knows? This is too
I
much.
see. I see somebody. Somebody talked about like John Cena's retirement match, and this is gonna be off track for 1 second. Uh, O'Shea Jackson, Ice Cube's son. Um, his podcast that he does, his
Okay.
co-host had brought up the idea of John Cena potentially dropping the title to Obafemi, and I thought that one was super interesting. I just wanted to put that out there.
How do you not do
And
that?
I don't know. I think it would be great. I think it would be awesome. Now he did say like Oba would hold the WWE Championship and the NXT Championship. I think that might be a little overkill, but ultimately Obafemi, I mean, you got to think about a guy who's going to be a main eventer so many years down the line. I think that'd be awesome.
It's tough,
I would
man.
love to see it.
They've gotten guys from NXT who are ready to like carry the company,
Yes.
and it's like tough because you still have Punk and Cody and Rollins and
Yeah.
this and that. Like,
That are still carrying the
yeah,
company
like
right now.
Oba Femi could come in right away, carry the company easily. Braun Breaker
Very much,
easily. Carmelo
very
Hayes
much
easily. You know,
correct. Ober reminds me of what they did in 2002.
yeah.
With Brock in that sense of like coming in and just immediately dominating.
And the best part too is Oba Femi could actually cut promos.
Facts. He doesn't need like a manager or something like
Yeah.
that on his side. He can just go out and do it himself.
Doesn't need a mouthpiece. Like, he's great. That guy, it's
Yeah.
crazy. Watching Oba Femi come in and just immediately be like, yeah,
And he's already got the shtick.
yeah, dude.
He's already got it.
Like, hey, this guy just immediately packaged incredibly well. Yeah, he's a WrestleMania main eventer forever. He's gonna be
Absolutely.
he's gonna be
They,
a fucking stud, bro.
the poor guy's going undefeated, no different than the Undertaker.
Like, I don't know if they'll ever do an undefeated
I'm
streak.
kidding. Yeah,
No,
I
but
don't.
like
They'll never do that.
that would be huge.
If you would do it on any guy, it would be him.
Yeah. I think Braun Breaker retires Goldberg. I think John Cena gets retired by Cody or Orton or
So you don't think Saturday night's main event will be Goldberg's last match?
no,
Really?
absolutely not.
Really? Okay. All right. Although, didn't they say he was retiring after this one?
I don't think he will. I think he
Oh,
has
okay.
one more.
Okay. All right.
I think he does one more, but we'll see because it is in Atlanta. But
For sure.
yeah. All right, Pete Rocks. Sorry, bud, but you're just gonna have to get removed, buddy. It's too much trolling now. Hold on.
What's he doing? I'm reading. Don't tell me. I'm reading.
No, it's okay. It's just too much now. It's every single opinion that somebody puts in the chat is just the opposite. It's coming across very
Yeah.
trollish now.
Yeah.
So
Understandable.
yeah,
Dude, it's so great to be back.
I know. Fuck, I miss this. I miss this so much. I really
Missed
did.
it so much, man.
I missed this.
Love it.
I know some people are asking about certain news stories that you guys will get a video after the stream. If you guys have any last minute super chats, get them in now. Luke Newman
Mhm.
dropped $1.99. He says the TNA and NXT partnership is solid in my opinion. I'm not dropping a scoop here live, but I do know there is confirmation that I got that there is somebody that's going to be there. So pay attention to
Uh-oh.
Great American Bash.
Uh-oh.
I'm not gonna say names. I don't want to spoil it, but there is gonna be a top TNA star there, and that's gonna be really cool. I love
That'll be
TNA's partnership with NXT. I don't. You guys will never hear me complain about it. I think the TNA partnership. Honestly, I think the TNA partnership with WWE and TNA exceeds anything AEW has done with TNA, which is good because AEW has also put a really good partnership with New Japan, and that's obviously worked out really well for them. But WWE and TNA, they're just so cohesive. There's a lot of synergy there. And I think with NXT's partnership with TNA, one of the things that's become really cool to watch is that TNA isn't live every week, but somehow they've
Mhm.
been able to manage like NXT being live and TNA being involved, and then also letting it carry over into TNA programming without
Yep,
it.
being cohesive.
Yeah, there's just a lot of synergy there. And it's cool because, Masha Slamovich is going to be at Evolution, and we know that the women's division in TNA, there's going to be a couple other people there going to Evolution as well. So it's nice to see like main roster PLEs having the inclusion of TNA, and it's not just NXT anymore. Um, which that makes me happy, to be honest. Like I think
Yeah,
that's like I eventually I want to see AJ there and I want to see other people there, but
for sure.
it's a really cool thing to see. That this company probably wouldn't have done that.
No, no. Absolutely wouldn't have.
So, yeah. Luke Newman
Yeah.
dropping two more super chats. He says, "When are we going to see Mr. Iguana debut in WWE?" Soon.
Yeah, I definitely believe it'll probably be sooner rather than later.
Get ready. Those AAA guys are coming in hot.
Yeah, they are.
$1.99 from Luke Newman again. He says, "And when will Psycho Clown and Octagon Junior debut?" Yeah, get ready soon. It's happening.
Can I be honest? Octagon Jr. already debuted.
Well,
Or yeah,
yeah, but
I'm
it's like,
kidding. Yeah, he was just on Money in the Bank. He had that Intercontinental Championship match.
which is crazy to think about. Talk
It
about
was
a
a
different.
solid match too,
Yeah,
for what it was worth.
exactly. Brian McCaddy dropping a $5 super chat. He says thoughts on released WWE talent signing with TNA and now being put back into WWE TNA crossover storylines. This is such an interesting conversation that I've had before with one of my friends, and I told him I was like, I actually like it for the simple fact that it makes WWE having to explain why they are
Yeah,
like Dolph Ziggler, for example, Nick Nemeth. They can't call him Dolph Ziggler. He's a TNA guy under the name Nick Nemeth. Like,
yeah. It's no different than Elijah or
yeah,
Zachary Wentz.
yeah,
Like having to tell those stories, I find to be hilarious. I love it. I love it, but I find it hilarious.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
I think it's
it's great.
cool. And honestly, listen, some people don't like it. I'm gonna be real though. It's if you're a person who gets released and
Hmm.
if you go like to TNA, for example, after WWE, there's your bridge back. There's already like there's no reason to go to AEW.
No,
There's no
because you already
reason.
have a bridge. You already have a bridge back into the WWE. You've already you've re-entered the system essentially.
Yeah, like if you go to AEW, um, if you go to AEW, you're kind of screwed, to be honest. It's like,
Yeah, because you're locked in a contract. There's no getting out of it. And if you don't get on TV, then your name essentially falls to the wayside.
Billy, hold it down for a second. I gotta go mute.
Yeah, I gotcha. I gotcha. Um, Daryl says I like TNA before the partnership with WWE. TNA's it's always been a good show, but them combining with WWE in some sense, it's been great. Brian McCaddy says Cedric Alexander. He's a great example of somebody who left WWE, chose to go to TNA, and is somebody that I think will work his way back in to the WWE. I think that's a perfect name to use. Obviously, he's going to be a big deal there. I mean, just look at Mike Santana. Mike Santana and Ortiz, when they were a tag team in AEW, again, kind of fell to the wayside. Proud and Powerful was one of the best tag teams in the world at one point. Now Mike Santana is going out and he's completely rebranded himself and made himself such an important piece on TNA, and we're seeing it move over into the WWE. So let's be real here, dude. There's going to be a day where WWE signs Mike Santana, and Mike Santana goes on and has a decent, good run in the WWE. I think that's something that we see eventually.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree.
yeah, yeah, I'd like to see it. I'd like to.
Linford the Tortoise, or whatever the fuck your name is. Adios, amigo. Adios.
Oh.
We ain't messing around no more. Shout out to Brian McCaddy, by the way, for the super chat. Brian McCaddy, I've seen a lot of maturity from you in the last few times you super chatted.
So have I. So have I. This guy
Shout out to
really
you.
stepped up his game here.
Shout out to you, Brian. True Flight 11 dropped to $4.99. He says TNA Slammiversary could possibly have its third highest attendance in company's history. Bro, they're gonna kill it. They're gonna kill it. They're gonna kill it. Guys, they haven't even they don't even really have like a card fully put together for the show that's been revealed, and it's like they're gonna sell out. They're gonna sell out their amount of tickets that they want to do, so that's good. They're gonna get over 4,000.
I'm watching, dude.
Any person who, by the way, hates on that, just let's be really clear on this. Any person that hates on that, you're not a wrestling fan. Like, you don't actually love pro wrestling, and you participate in the tribalism war and stuff like that, because there was literally times where TNA, people don't even know this, there was a time where TNA couldn't even get like 50 people at a show.
Huh.
Like, it was a struggle, bro. I actually, to be honest with you, I prefer watching the smaller companies kill it, and seeing MLW, like MLW having MJF return and go after Mystico was such a cool thing that just recently happened.
Awesome.
Like, I was watching Summer of the Beast, and to see what MLW is doing, it's like, okay, cool, man. Like, they gotta fix some stuff and get a little bit better, sure, but yeah, it's cool to see these smaller companies are making strides. There's room for more companies. I love it. I'm excited about it. And for TNA personally, just like, everybody knows my story with TNA. I'm a massive TNA fan long before, people really, like, you cannot sit here and talk about Ango being a tribalist for any company. You could say it for TNA, and I do not argue that.
I was about to say.
You can't argue. I can't argue that. But I love TNA, and I've been a lifelong TNA fan. And also, there's just other stuff that, it is just the way it is. But I have been a fan of TNA for the longest time. There is no Ango without TNA. There is. This Ango show, this YouTube channel, the fact that I make a living out of this doesn't exist if TNA didn't exist. Because
and that's awesome. Even just
like, I hated WWE that much, where I was literally just TNA. So, personally speaking, it makes me proud to see how much they've improved and to see the strides that they're making. And it's so funny, because I saw there was this conversation that was being held on social media where there was a lot of concern for Carlos Silva, who's the new TNA president. He's not a wrestling guy, but this guy is becoming a wrestling guy, and we're seeing it in front of our eyes with the culture that he's establishing in TNA. I personally saw the culture at TNA with my own eyes under the previous regime, and I was like, damn, this is a really good culture. Now you're seeing it unfold with a new guy who really, like, he's come in and he's doing great things. Oh, and they have this partnership with WWE. That makes it amazing. To me, that's like, I'm so amazed by that, where it's like, typically somebody who comes in that's not a wrestling guy, which we've had this problem in professional wrestling 100 fucking times. People don't seem to talk about it, but these rich fucks come in and they're like, we're gonna come in and change everything about it, blah blah. No, they took what Scott D'Amore did as a foundation. They made a couple small changes and then built upon it and built it to something bigger. Their partnership with WWE has been so enjoyable to watch because there's a synergy there. The reason why I like AEW and New Japan's partnership is because there's synergy. Like the
Correct.
fact that you have guys from AEW go into the Super Juniors or like all these things, like there's a synergy where just because it happened in one company doesn't mean it didn't happen in the other when they show up. No, you got to have that. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I am 100% going to always support TNA. True Flight, thank you for your super chat. I'm excited for their success, and I hope it continues to build. And whether it's with WWE or AEW or whoever they partner with, it doesn't matter. What they're doing has been really good, and they, for a long time, they had to rebound off of all the fucking stains that were left on them because of previous managements, previous owners, and now it's like, cool, they're gonna do great things. And Luke Newman dropped the super chat for $1.99. Says, "Do you think WWE is gonna buy TNA?" No, there's no reason
Mm-mm.
for them to. And if I were Anthem, I wouldn't sell them. I wouldn't.
Nope.
You know, like there would be really no point because you're doing a good job. You have a solid wrestling company that, you know, it's doing good things.
It's working. It's working for you right now. There's no reason to sell. WWE and you are partnered, and all you're doing is gaining from that partnership.
Yeah,
So yeah, I wouldn't sell. No reason to. Continue to
exactly.
utilize the partnership, and continue to utilize talent, and cross promoting the both of them. Like obviously, Trick Williams as the champion works because more people watch NXT, so
Yeah.
that means more eyes on your title. That's it.
Yeah. Shout out to True Flight. Shout out to Luke Newman. Brian McHattie dropping another 5. He says, where will TK get his talent from if NJPW partners with WWE? I don't foresee them partnering with each other just yet, but I could see it happening one day.
For sure.
And look at AEW. They've actually changed the recruiting process and it's benefited them a little bit. So I think, you got to look at the UK scene. I think Mexico is very, very good with them. They have that partnership with CMLL. And
Mhm.
that's one of the things. I love luchadors. I love when you see guys from AAA on WWE. I love when you see guys from CMLL on AEW. People always want to spew the bullshit of like, who's that? Like, no, man,
Mhm.
stop. Go watch it, and like you'll enjoy
Right.
it.
You'll learn.
Yeah, like I love the luchador culture and everything they've established in Mexico. So I think AEW will, if NJPW partnered with WWE to a certain extent, um, I think you would see Tony Khan continue to go international talents for sure.
Yeah, agreed.
Shout out to Brian McHattie. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude our first stream back. I'm going to get all the technical stuff 100% working for tomorrow, but my God, it felt good. It felt good to be live. Um, we'll make sure everything is cleaned up, better quality as well, wherever it needs to
Correct.
be. And then of course, the super chats and stuff, I'll be able to pull that up on the stream for tomorrow. So we will be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. I appreciate everybody for coming through and everybody just showing love and being there for us. It genuinely means a lot. With that being said, make sure you guys check out Billy. Billy, quick question, because I know you got a super chat
Yeah.
earlier from Sharon. Was there any other super chats you had to read?
No, sir. That was it. That was it. But if I could say one thing, I just want to let everybody know I did put out a new video right before we went live. I'm doing some WWE 2K25 stuff. So if you guys want to go check that out, definitely be sure to do so.
Nice, beautiful. Wow, Billy's doing WWE 2K25. That's crazy. Maybe we should get a WWE 2K25 stream in here one of these days, huh?
Should we, dude?
Possibility,
I think
possibility.
we should, bro. I think we should.
Love it. I love it. I love it. All right, guys, make sure you check out Billy. We'll be back tomorrow, 12 p.m. Ooh, it's going to be a good one. You guys are going to love these live streams. Thank you to everybody who helped us reach our super chat goal. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody on Twitter and TikTok. Appreciate you.